Infinite ambition.
Yo. This is the Infinite Ambition Podcast. Recognize your limitless worth, damn it. This is episode 27. Yes, here, episode 27. We are sitting here with, man, I've been close with, man, one of my homies from way back when, many years ago. Fellow chef, fellow DJ. You know what I'm saying? He's a producer. He's a mover and a shaker. He mixes it up in any atmosphere, any setting you give him, man. He's been around a while. I know him for a while. We have a lot of fun, short stories to share. You know what I'm saying? We met on when we was both working for a Norwegian cruise line. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into his culinary career, how he got started, where he came from, his unique name, and all sorts of other fun stuff, man. This is the Mr. DJ RaziatiC, Chef RC Cabalquinto. Make some noise for him. What up, big dog?
What up, man?
Man, I'm glad I finally got a chance to get you on the show, man. I know we've been talking about it for weeks, actually maybe even months, and we both had busy schedules, so I'm just happy we finally got a chance to lock in today to get it popping, man. How you been?
Well, we're in Hawaii. It's about 1 p.m. A little bit muggy, but I'm here at work as well.
Okay, what you doing out in Hawaii though? Like, what kind of work are you doing out there? Cause I know
I work for the Marriott International, so I'm their chef connoisseur. Yeah, so I work with the Marriott International on the luxury group.
Mm-hmm.
So I work specifically for the brand of the Ritz-Carlton Reserve.
Oh, okay. Is that what it was? You sent me a text of a few minutes ago before we started the show. I know you sent me a picture of the desktop screen of the logo. I was like, I was like, what is this? It was kind of random, but I kind of figured out what it was. But all right, so that was like your desk at work.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
man,
any questions you want to ask?
Man, I got a ton, and like a lot of my previous episodes. There's probably going to be a part 2 like some of those was because I got a lot I want to unpack, but I don't have that much time to pack it in. So we're going to get in as much as we can in this episode, and down the line we'll do another one because, man, from our conversations every time we talked on the phone, man, we can speak for hours. So first let's get into man, where you are originally from. For those who don't know, because I got questions that I know my listeners will want to know answers to, and plus myself also. I've known you for a while, but I still got my own personal questions too that would be interesting for the show, man. So, where are you originally from?
Well, I was born in the Philippines, and moved to Hawaii back in the 90s. So, where grew up, born and raised. Well, basically born Philippines, halfway raised Philippines, and then raised up in the U.S. And life goes on.
Yeah, what part of the Philippines, man? Not just
Manila.
Manila.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, yeah. Not just from working on the ship, but just from living in Hawaii for as long as I did. I met and grown to know so many people from the Philippines. That's why I asked what part of the Philippines you're from, because I know a lot of the people that I'm still in contact with that listen to the show are from there, and they'll be excited to know like where you're from, if they're from the same area or not, or if they can relate. Like, oh shit, okay, yeah, he's from where I'm from.
Yeah, some of our former co-workers, they were born in the Philippines and halfway raised. Some of them from the province, some are from the north, some are from the south. But me, I'm just right in the middle.
Man, what was it like growing up there in comparison to Hawaii? What are the similarities and what are some of the differences? Because I know you said half there and half there. Was it a specific age that you moved to Hawaii? Like you want to talk about?
Well, my entire family. Actually, my mom went first, and then I think I was like around 14 when I moved.
Yeah.
My younger sister was, she was like 10. We're 4 years apart.
Right.
And my younger sister came like probably 3 years later. So,
So you're one of three?
It's not really a culture shock when we moved, we're kind of expected to, oh yeah, remember the time, remember the days like I remember the days like we were watching like Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah,
and I was kind of expecting like Hawaii going to be like that, like that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So from transitioning from Philippines to Hawaii, it's not that a big a deal. With the exception of it's cleaner, much more traffic, not too humid hot. Not traffic like mad traffic.
Yeah. Was the population higher in Hawaii, or was it like a bigger mix of people, a bigger mix of cultures of people?
Yeah.
Okay.
So me specifically, and my sisters, my two younger siblings.
Yeah.
We were, went to private schools, so our English is basically common.
Yeah.
Also, English is like the second language,
right.
And Spanish is third. So everybody speaks English there. So it wasn't really that hard. Although I did go to school from from private to public, and then public to private, and then back again to public.
Yeah. So you got a good taste of both of those worlds as far as your academic career goes at a younger age.
Let's just say I had fun a lot.
Was it a lot of fun, or was it too much fun? Or was you kind of straddling the fence between?
It was too much fun, but I'm one of the fortunate kids, I guess. Like had a good background. Like maybe my dad and my mom. And our family is a little bit more, up to beat. Sort of that thing.
Right.
Some families and some people that you probably interviewed and our fellow coworkers as well.
Mm-hmm.
They have a little bit rough back in childhood, but ours, yeah, we felt it a little bit when my dad passed away back in the '90s, early '90s.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really that bad, but we struggled a little bit, but all good.
Yeah, you came out clean on the other side, and it taught you the values that you need to know to excel in life to where you are today. Although, even with the trials and tribulations you go through along the way, one thing I wanted to know early on, I think you may have told me this a long time ago, I can't remember, but people have asked me that know you also, like many years ago, and some others might want to know, like, your name RC, are those initials, or is that like the actual name, like just those two letters? Because I've seen that before in other people's names where like it was two letters, but that was the actual name. Is that the case with yours too, or is it initials?
So the story behind it is my dad didn't want me to write a long name because he was thinking to follow his footsteps basically. So his name was a little bit longer than mine.
Oh wow!
So since I'm a junior, he kind of like, okay. So his name is Rodolfo, and then C is separate for middle initial on his side.
Okay.
So he made it two letters, R.C. period, and then my last name. But he didn't think about like my middle initial. My middle initial was like MALAQUI.
Oh way.
About like seven to 8 around there.
Malachi.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And then my last name, which is like CABALQUINTO 11.
Yeah.
Plus the second. So every time I go to like register, even back home, back in the Philippines, I register for let's just say school. They ask me, "Are you sure? Hey, is this really your real name?" Like, sometimes I have to bring out a passport or a national ID.
Yeah.
Even here in Hawaii, even in college, the same thing. Like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, because that's unique. You don't see that too often. Like I said, I only seen that maybe once or twice. I think actually once. I don't remember who that person was or if I even knew them. But I remember the first name was two letters and it was no name. It was just that was the name. It was two letters. Like, okay, you don't pronounce it as like Rick or the two letters that those sounds would make. You would pronounce it as the letter. And it's like, okay, it must be a family or a cultural thing that, because it was like, wow, I gotta ask that question. That's what's up, man. Did you ever was that ever difficult for you as far as filling out like important documents, like government documents, ID issues, or like filling out applications?
Well, I have to go to like secondary question. Are you sure this is your name?
Oh yeah.
Which is like, huh? What?
Mm-hmm.
Even back then, when I was like 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
Like me and my sister, my younger sister, not the youngest, no, second sibling. We both went to a Chinese school back in the Philippines, in Chinatown. So
okay.
Not only that, but also we had some Chinese names that we had to remember. Is I totally flunked on that. So my sister, passed. I didn't. It's really hard.
I bet. I'm sure, like over time, after all those years, you've like having to explain it, you figured out a way to respond to whenever somebody questions you about your name. You figured out your way to quickly way to respond, whether it be a serious response or a comedic response or kind of a jaded response. Like you're used to the weird reactions. You're like, okay, they're gonna say this, so I'm gonna say this.
Getting a driver's license, sometimes they ask me, this is your name, yeah. When I got my U.S. passport, same.
I bet.
I went through more like, is this legal? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he says on my birth certificate. So
right, when you whip that out, you can't fake that without them getting past it. So it's like that's the most authentic way you can let them know. Like, hey.
Yeah. I mean, growing up back home, with my dad is still alive. We're pretty, not really say well off, but
you're okay. Y'all were good.
We're okay.
Yeah.
Just put it that. We're okay.
Yeah, y'all are good.
A little bit background on my family. So my father had a shipping company business. So he owns a lot of tugboats and shipping containers and stuff like that. So now you can see a little bit of why while I'm explaining this, and you can understand. Coming here and transitioning to the U.S. wasn't really like, okay. Like a culture shock. Oh my God.
Right. It wasn't too much of that.
No, it wasn't too much. Me and my sister were actually disappointed a little bit because we came to Hawaii. Or we came to Oahu. We migrated from Philippines to Oahu. It was like, are you sure this is a city?
Nah.
But went to high school, and a little bit. We went to like a public school back in Oahu, so it's not really a game changer or a shock to us. But exception not, yes, we did rode the bus, not the school bus, the bus.
D bus, what's that? The city bus?
The bus.
Oh, yeah. The bus. Okay, yeah. I'm very familiar with the bus. Very familiar.
We had to learn how to take public transportation. Yeah. And everybody was like, back in high school, they drive in car. Okay. I couldn't get a driver's license there back then. Like, you got to be 16 and have like a permit or something.
Right.
Back home, we had someone fetching us and driving for us, and so on and so forth. So, and we lived. I
had to learn the different ways of going about.
My dad lived on a exclusive village that sometimes, yes, that's why I was saying, like, I did have fun. I had so much fun that in that community, all the kids age of 13, 14, 15, 16, they drive the cars around.
Wow.
That's specifically exclusive zone.
Oh.
That area. So I remember my dad got pissed at me because I took a car without asking him. Even though he would let me drive it anyway. So I was like, so where did you go? Meet some fellow age girls like your age. Yeah,
Probably.
sort of. Yeah, yeah. So that's good. I mean,
It's like, well, are you supposed to enjoy riding, doing something reckless? He was just
well, it's not
cruising.
really reckless. Like what they doing now is like, oh yeah, burn, make donuts, or whatever.
right.
It's more like social.
Yeah.
It's more so like social gathering and who's the elite.
Exactly.
So on and so forth. It was like exactly as not really a Beverly Hills, but someone
upscale community
on the inner circle of the community.
Right.
Yeah, so that happened, and then when dad passed away, we basically kind of grind to the screeching halt. So
right.
we a little bit had just a little bit of difficulties, but we managed.
Yeah.
My mom at that time, she was in New York and finishing up her studies in medical, and she passed and worked hard to bring us. It was good fortunate that my dad had a plan, so we migrated. So that's why we moved to Hawaii. Out of all places, Hawaii.
Yeah.
But it's paradise, It's like a island type. It's like Philippines, but much cleaner.
Right. I never been to the Philippines before, so like every time anybody that I've met from there, I always like to ask a lot of questions about it, especially while I was back living in Hawaii, and people used to tell me about it all the time, and they'll tell me the comparisons and the contrasts, and like when they moved from there to Hawaii, because everybody that's been to Hawaii knows that there's a huge Filipino population in Hawaii. I don't know if it's half or most, but it's a lot, and just hearing all the great stories is fascinating to me. Was it in Hawaii where you got into DJing and cooking, or which one of those came first, and how'd you get into it?
It's more on the cooking side.
Mm-hmm.
Back home, Philippines, my dad wanted me to follow his footsteps, but I wasn't that type of kid. He even sent me to like a college like 2 years ahead of me.
Oh, wow.
Like, what are we doing here? It wasn't my thing, but I could see how he wanted me to manage his business, but unfortunately he passed a little bit early, so it wasn't my thing. Actually, if I remember, on his office, I have a desk right next to him. It wasn't really. At first, it was more like drawings, architecture, and then he bought me some technical rulers and stuff to draw, and more like an architect engineer. But it wasn't that way. I became more like a foodie person, even though at the age of 8, 9.
Oh wow, yeah, that's early.
Yeah, so early. So when my dad asked me a week before he passed away, we and they were talking. He asked me basically, what do you want to do? I said, well, I don't know, probably cooking, but it's like follow your dreams, and that was it. So when we moved to Hawaii, I did work back in high school. I worked some not really moms and pop, but more like fast food chains that actually until now it's actually back in Oahu.
Yeah,
it's still working.
Like a lot of us did.
Still operating. Like Panda Express.
Yeah, you work at that age. You work with what you can get most of the time.
Yeah. So Panda Express, and back that time, minimum wage was like $5.25.
That's exactly what it was when I got my first job. Yep.
Yeah, working your butt off, but
you learn the value of a dollar back then.
Yeah, it was a dishwasher, and at one point I worked at a nightclub. I think at World Cafe and Pipeline.
That was my shit. I love Roll Cafe and Pipeline.
So I work as a
thousands of memories there.
Yeah, I work as a bar back, so filling out and helping out. So I have to make money and so on and so forth. I did a double job that I'm starting on my lifetime, and I only sleep for like 3-4 hours, less than that.
Wow.
So finished high school. Went to, college was like the next thing for me. So for my for my career, I picked culinary, but it wasn't that quick, or it wasn't that immediate. I had to go to culinary school. I was like, let's wait for like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the alumni from CIA in New York, which I actually spoke, and who hired me.
Culinary Institute of America, right? That one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So went on a scholarship.
Sweet.
Yeah, part scholarship, but
round of applause for scholarships, y'all.
Yeah, I have to pay my dues, and it wasn't easy. It was a little bit tougher. Me, because I was thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna learn then. Yes. Little thing I know, like I have to go like basic 101, and there's pastry, and knowing me, I don't have any patience in pastry and measuring, and
yeah.
I'm like, okay. And it was a struggle, and finally when I was like about to graduate, and then I said, okay, well, what am I gonna do first?
Yeah.
Went back to Oahu, and like I said, college. It was a little bit after college. It was a little bit hard for me to go and look for a job in a hotel, because back then it's just like, who's who?
Right.
Who do you know? Especially in the hotels.
Yeah. And in Hawaii, too.
Yeah, I worked like, remember Gordon Biersch?
Yep.
Right by the Aloha Tower.
I applied to work there immediately after I left the cruise line. Didn't get it.
Yeah. So now I think now it's like HPU now. The entire property's HPU.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I work at Gordon Biersch, and as a line cook to start.
Yeah.
I was just like the quiet type person, and progressively I remember when Norwegian Cruise Line.
Saw that big ship pulling in from the pier, like, what's that?
Yeah, but before that, I worked at the Kahala Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I was a chef de partie afterwards, and then when NCO came in, it's basically, okay, I'm going to try this and try the opportunity.
Yeah.
Do you remember Kirk?
Kirk?
Yeah.
Kirk or Kurt?
No, Kirk Hurl. He's the, back then I think he was a corporate chef for NCO. German dude, looked like Santa Claus, but
Oh, yeah, I remember him. I forgot about him, yeah.
So, he interviewed me. Well, it actually was James, the hotel director first, and then...
Okay, yeah.
And then I got interviewed by Gert, and then he pulled me in the corner, and he said, okay, hold on, let me interview you for the second time again. So he interviewed me for the second time.
In the corner of a room? Made it all weird?
In the corner of a room, and basically, I think you have like potential. So, like you and I, and everyone else,
mm-hmm.
like, so we're going to send you to the international. Remember that?
Yep, that's where I started. Norwegian Wind was my first one, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah.
Yeah. So that, on that question, I went to, my chefy instincts first. The DJ part was like next.
Okay.
That's like after we work at the ship and we started having like, those crew parties. I'm like, the music kind of boring. So I picked up really quick. So
you're very quick, because when I met you, it seemed like you've been doing it for years already, especially with this CD collection you had.
Second passion. So music is my second passion.
Same here. For me, it's like music and cooking is like right up there together with me.
A lot of CDs.
Yeah, like besides me, you was probably the person I seen who had the biggest CD collection, other than me at the time that I knew. It was insane what you was carrying around. Like I thought I had a lot of CDs until I saw yours. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna shut up and see what he's doing.
Yeah. So that DJing part was like, I think it was part of my, I don't know. Back home in the Philippines, we also have like, we call it the mobile DJs.
Oh.
Yeah, so like stationary. It's not stationary; it keeps moving, and then we're just like having parties on weddings, hotels, whatever you want to think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's like music and cooking is like right up there together as far as like my main loves in life. But being a chef is what pays the bills. That's what's giving me a way of life, you know. So
Yeah.
but it took me 20 something. Yeah, I'm 42 now, but it took me like 20 something of those 42 years to understand that. For many years, I put music above it and trying to focus so much on that to the point where like I didn't let my culinary career take off at the time it should have. So I was so focused on trying to be a big rap star, and I realizing that wasn't substantial enough. But when being a chef was always there, I was like, okay, well, this is always there, and this is what's actually getting me to where I need to be. Once I focus on that, I'm out of here, and that's what happened. Like, boom, life has been great. So, but when I met you, though, damn, it was like you was like already seemed like you was already there. Like you seemed like you've been DJing for a while at the time. Because when I met you, you was already killing it in the bars, and you was, I forgot what chef title you had on the ship, but your skills was showing hard there, and you was doing it. But like, because I forgot what contract it was. I wasn't on the Norwegian Wind anymore. It was my second contract. I think I was either on the Sky, then it became the Aloha. I think that's when I met you, or it was when
I think it was in a Sky. It was actually at the Sky, Norwegian Sky.
Yeah, just before it got reflagged American as the Aloha. Yeah.
You know, because all of us got shipped out there international ship. So I got shipped out to the Norwegian Star.
Yeah, for everybody listening, when I tell y'all stories in a previous episode, saying like I was a part of the first American crew that was trained on the foreign flag ships before they branched off their American fleet in Sierra America. And RC was one of those crew members also, along with one of my previous shows when I did a show with DJ. He was also part of that crew also. It was a moment in history that can never be repeated. Went through a lot of trials and tribulations, ups and downs, a lot of struggles, but also a whole lot of fucking fun at the same time. But yeah, go ahead. What you was about to say?
So, back when all of us were shipped out to international, actually the first ship that I worked after I got hired, like a week later, they sent me to the Sky.
Oh.
So we had an executive chef there. I don't know, he hated Americans for whatever reason, but we were protected that time.
The tall guy?
So,
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I forgot. I remember Andreas at one brief moment. He left, and then
I remember Andreas.
And this British dude was like really pissed off.
I remember him. Yeah.
Everybody's like wank out, these people, and then like what?
He was always grumpy.
But the only thing that put us apart, I think, was when we're in a crew bar. we had our own thing, and everyone is trying to like hang out with us.
Yep.
And like they've never seen the cool kids yet.
Right.
I guess.
Everybody was so stiff before we showed up. That's what it was. We brought the party to that joint. We livened up the place.
So we never seen. I guess I never seen people from Hawaii party like that.
Probably not. At least not the way we did.
Yeah, so
tore that motherfucker up.
the most people who actually admired us was the Romanians.
Yeah.
The girls.
Yeah, this is true.
From Romania.
Yeah.
And some girls from Indonesia too. The Filipinos were a little bit shy, but they were hiding in a corner. But we got their attention. So anyway,
it's like most of the Americans are like the jocks of the ship.
Yeah. So when that started, I was hanging out more on the DJ, and then I quickly grew to like taking over slowly.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in international ships, I kind of learned what the ropes are. And back then, it's not like those pioneer DJs or Pioneer sets yet. It was like Newmarks or Denon's. The Denon was like
Denon was what was on the
you press the eject, the CD comes out.
Yeah, that's what was on the Aloha, and I mean the America, the Denon.
Yeah.
I remember that deck.
So they never had all the music were like. Remember they had like the Indian party.
Whoa, yeah, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, I think I still got some pictures from a few of those nights too.
Yeah, the Indian party. Everyone that who partied with them, like you come out, you smell like them. Smell like curry.
That night when a lot of them went home for their contracts, and it was like when most of them went home, and the night before that they had a big party in the crew bar, and that was probably one of the most packed nights I've ever seen in there. We can barely even walk around. You walk in there, you just start sweating. You need to do nothing. You just walk in there because there's so many motherfuckers. It was deep, and it was partying so hard. I swear, I think I got a couple of pictures from that night. I'll send you some pictures that I have in my photo album. Like if anybody else saw those pictures, they wouldn't know what was going on. But except for us, because we recognize a few of the faces, and they knew how to party.
So, my career between culinary and DJ worked side by side.
Yeah.
There are other things that would, in my DJing days was back in Germany.
Yes, sir.
Oh, night shift.
Night shift? I still can't pronounce that clear. I call it night shift still, but yeah.
Yeah. So, after Sky, I went back one more time, and then, we transitioned from Sky to Aloha, and then, the crew also, had the reputation to party our ass off.
Yep.
Remember that New Year's Eve?
Yeah, that was
party, and then the next following day, everyone was late.
Yep.
Everyone was late.
Yeah, that was like that lifestyle was new to some, custom to most, but even still, to me, it was new. But I was like jumped in head first, all the way up to my nose, deep in it. I mean, being my early 20s, just being wild and experiencing everything I could to the fullest. That was just crazy fun. I was surprised, like didn't really get in any trouble from all the shit I did. I just kept I don't know, but anyway,
everyone has the same on the same block? I think they're including me.
Yeah. Let me explain block parties for anybody listening who don't know what they were on the cruise line, on the cruise ship. So the crew dwellings, all the crew cabins were like either at water level or below water level, like decks 3 and below, or even 4 and below, depending on what ship it was on. So our dwellings were looked way different than passengers' dwellings. They looked like almost like a white collar, high end jail, so to speak, but a little bit better than that. And we lived in 2 or 3, 4 to a room, and there was hallways. They were separated by watertight doors, like every 30 or something feet or whatever, it'd be a watertight door that would separate the different sections of the cabins. And they weren't co-ed; they were male cabins and female cabins, but we did this thing called block party every now and then. I could talk about it now because it's many years removed. But when a certain time of night, the watertight doors were closed, and
it's soundproof.
Yeah, it was soundproof, really waterproof. You couldn't hear shit outside of those. So
I think even the security was partying with us at one point on duty.
It was fucking Miguel and them crazy asses. Like somebody will have the cabin door open, blasting music. People have those drinks in there or whatever.
I think the people who were having a party are the people who are like who's who and like they lead, so-called lead. Like you, Kyle,
yep.
Vanessa, me.
Yep, for sure.
What's her name? The Filipino girl.
There's a bunch of them, man. I don't remember all of them.
I forgot her name.
I don't remember all of them. That's a bunch of them.
Yeah. Well, a bunch of it,
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, hey,
Austin, DJ, a lot of the cooks were involved. Nina, yep.
Basically, the people who were like the good-looking people was actually partying on. Even a guy from Ruben.
Ruben, yep. You know what's funny about that? Most of the time, it was majority hospitality working people. People worked in a restaurant, or people worked in like the room service, something like that. Like butlers and I don't want to call them maids. I forgot what the term is. Housekeepers. It's mostly who it was, like restaurants and housekeeper workers. Because what was I drank the most?
You know, the housekeeper. When we were partying on international flag, they're mostly the people who hangs out with us, like the Eastern European people.
Oh, those ships, yeah.
And the guys who, I don't know, the guys hated us because when we were after a crew bar closes, you know how they are.
Yeah.
It's like waiting on a hallway. Like,
right.
Hey, how you doing, shipmate?
Yeah.
You know, how's it going? Yeah. So
kind of like what they used to call parking lot pimping. Motherfuckers be waiting in the parking lot to holler somebody. You had to go through the gauntlet, waiting in the hallway. It's funny and shaking head type stuff. Looking back at it now, but looking back, he's laughing so hard.
We always raided the baker area because we always get the bread there.
Yeah.
And then jump to the breakfast cook and grab some.
Yeah. Or you find out who had the keys to the liquor cabinet in the galley. Make friends with them. Sometimes I remember one time I had it, and I've never been more popular in my life. This was so crazy.
I mean, I remember one time. I remember then when we had that New Year's Eve party, right? Everyone got drunk, and then crew bar closed. At some point, one of the sushi had the liquor key. He opens the liquor cabinet. And I'm like, oh my god, no.
You open Pandora's box.
Yeah. Everyone had a party. I think not Nikki Pan, the small Nikki.
The other one, yeah. I remember she dated my boy Keegan for a while. Yeah.
She got, let's just say buck wild, and I don't think she would remember what happened the next day.
It's probably a good thing that it's probably a good thing that most of us don't remember.
After our Sky, everybody had an opportunity to go to Germany.
Yeah.
You were there.
I was sure enough there. Woo!
So, I think I came first.
You did first. You got there before I did.
Yeah. So, I came first, and you were just like, okay, what to do? I'll walk around, go to the bar, go to this, go to beer garden. And I was like, so boring, man. So, you and I discovered this club.
You remember that?
You did.
You remember that? Yeah.
So, we came in, and like a whole entire group. I think
we discovered a few of those spots out there. Now I remember now that I remember.
Yeah, we went like entire group, and they called it the American people.
Yeah.
So
the American people.
We partied. I remember that the owner gave us like Incredible Hope drinks.
Oh, that was my drink back then. Yeah.
Vodka, Red Bull.
Yep.
And we just party our ass off.
They called it the Energizer. The vodka Red Bull. They called it the Energizer. That was their drink.
Yeah. So, I think the pick of our party or our crew bar or what do you call it? Our DJing or my side was when we took over the entire whole nightclub. I think that it was a daytime too.
Yeah, I was going to tell my side of that story too, because that's one of my favorite nights right there.
Yeah. So I think you just came in, or you just arrived. Half of you just arrived.
I just arrived when you was already in the booth.
Yeah, I was in the booth, and then you looked at me and like, okay, I say, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then we have. Who are the other guys that you were hanging out?
But there was a few different nights.
9 of you.
There was a few different nights you DJ'd there, but that specific night, if we're thinking about the same night, we're talking about the same night. I came with a few people, and a few more came later, but you was already in the booth at this time.
Yeah, you guys arrived, and then you saw me. I gave you the microphone. I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, you're talking about a different night, but I know what night you're talking about though.
Yeah, that one where we had the motorcycle. I think they rented out. There was a motorcycle race.
There's a race or a rally, something going on. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there was a motorcycle with a sidecar on it.
Yeah. You're talking about. You're talking about a different club, a different night. That I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about though.
That's
So it's a small spot.
Nightclub. So this one is specifically rented out for us. I guess the liaison rented out that part.
Yeah.
And they had the bartender was like fucking throwing flames on his
Those
mouth.
flaring, yeah. Those flaring. I had some pictures from that night, but I lost them. But I remember.
So all of that, I was like really inching going through it. I went to the other side first and just like, okay, let's play this. But I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Let's go to the main hall.
Because that was a smaller club than Night Shift.
This
yeah.
guy who was DJing was like, want to take over? It's like, sure.
Like, I want to take over.
Sure. I don't mind. I don't mind if I don't get paid. I just play.
Just doing it for fun, yeah.
I took out all my collections. At that time, it was still CDJ, but we were using CDs. But I took out all my stuff, and we just party. And you guys have like a little bit of the line dance going on.
Oh yeah.
And I believe that when we were done, I think it was like 3 in the morning. Remember that? From daytime to 3 in the morning.
Yeah, we used to go long and hard. Pause. Like, you remember the name of that place? I don't remember the name of it. It started with an L, I think.
I forgot. I really forgot what's it called. But it was a really good
spot. And I think we've been there. I think it was only there one time.
That's one of our favorite areas.
Let me tell you something. What I was thinking, the night I was thinking about, which was like one of my top 3 favorite nights during that whole experience time in Germany, was it was at Night Shift, one of those nights where you was DJing. Me and you came in together, and at that club it was no hats allowed in, but somehow you snuck in your hat. I don't know how you did it. It must have been in your back pocket or something, because by the time you got to that booth, you had your hat on. And I used to joke around about like, oh shit, once he puts that hat on, you know it's serious. And you did. And
everyone, I think all of us were. It was you, Cash, me. I think 3 other guys were wearing Kangol hats. I
didn't have one at the time. It wasn't me. I didn't have one back then. I wanted one, but I didn't.
I was wearing a Kangol hat.
Yeah.
Cash was wearing a Kangol hat. And I'm like, okay. I think we were playing that. The first tune I played was the guy. What's his name? Will Smith's tune.
Oh, Switch. Hey. Yeah. So that was like one of your go-to records. Yeah, so at that time, every time I went to that specific club, Night Shift, I used to kind of dress up a little bit because the way that club looked, I used to kind of match it. And if anybody didn't know, the club culture in that area of Germany, I don't know how it is now, but back then, it was like the girls didn't dance with the guys. It was the girls danced with the girls, the guys danced with the guys. It was very random. Seldom you would see the guy and the girl dance with each other unless they were a couple. So at that time, a lot of us didn't really get that, and we used to get offended when we used to ask a girl to dance. She'll say no. Every once in a while, we get lucky and dance with a girl for a little while, and we would feel good about that. Like, wow, I made an accomplishment. But at this specific night I'm talking about, you was DJing, and you remember the power went out at the time. Electricity went out, and everybody was getting reckless. And so somehow you got on the mic and you started doing like a call and response, having the crowd chanting back things you were saying. And all the Americans that were in the club, we were keeping it hype, doing random chants, calling it back. And then the power came back on, and I don't know if it was you or the other DJ announced that like free shots at the bar or something. And before you know it,
that was me.
Just rushed the bar.
The owner came right next to me. Hey, I just want to tell you that we're giving you free drinks because you guys are good to us.
Yeah. Man, the bar. I didn't see the bar get rushed so fast before. I had a stack of vodka Red Bulls. They call them Energizers. I had a stack of those walking back to the table.
Oh, no, that was the most dangerous drink.
Yeah.
It was one of those. It was one of those things that it was good, and then you wake up the next day, you got this heavy, hemorrhaging headache.
Man, back then I used to, had that energy to. Back then I used to I would go out and party and sleep for like 2 hours and go to work and work on the buffet for another 10 hours. I was crazy back then. But you played Mariah Carey's "Living It Up" I think like 2 or 3 times that night, and every time to this day every time I hear that song, it reminds me of that night. Like, I love that song so much, it reminds me how much fun that night was. That that's my shit. And
I mean, after Germany, we had to cross, go all the way back to New York and stuff. But we were still partying.
That was
Our party got a little bit stopped when when we were having like Regis and Kelly's and
Oh yeah, I
TV
forgot
show
about
all
that.
the way down to Miami, and we stopped in Miami.
They did come on the ship in New York. I forgot. Yeah, they did a show. They filmed the show on the deck. Yeah.
And so we stopped, and then I think we stayed in Miami for a couple of days.
Couple of days, yeah.
I went out. You went out.
You know I went out.
Somehow Miguel saw me, and
I was a fool in Miami.
Hey, shipmate, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going to the club. Wanna go?
That was his favorite thing to say. What up, shit, mate?
Yeah, what up, ship? Oh, by the way, that guy's a millionaire, but
He called me trying to sneak pizza back to my cabin door one time.
oh no.
He called me on security camera. Like, what are you doing, shit, mate? Like, damn.
I was looking on the roster. Like, what are we doing here? So it was good. So once we got to Hawaii and the party goes back again, we celebrate and we do this, we do that. Then Kauai at the Marriott. That too. I don't know if you remember that.
Kauai at the Marriott. Let me see Kauai.
That one bar at Kauai.
Oh, like right around the corner from the pier.
Yep.
Yeah, they had some good ass hot wings there. I remember that.
Yeah.
I was there every week.
We had the Christmas party at Pride of America, our first Christmas party. Guess what you guys did? I wanted to take a rest, and it wasn't you yet. It was the other guy. He called you guys calling me on the phone. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. So
because you said you would do it earlier that either day or week.
I would do it, and you guys like, no, you got to do it. Like, we'll fucking pay you. We'll freaking pay you. I was like, huh? Like, no. So I go back to sleep, and you guys like rushing on my door, and they're like, hey, get up there. Let's go. We'll carry your bag.
Yeah, at the time before me and DJ took over, and before me, DJ, and James started handling it, you was the man. You was the one throwing the biggest parties in the Goo Bar, and if it wasn't you that night, it was naked, and people was like, "Yo, where's the man at?" And he was like, "I don't know, man." It's like either you wasn't answering, or you was busy handling your business, or you just sleep. But yeah,
nah, I was actually a little bit tired, but you guys like, you're really persistent. So you're like, okay, as I changed. I'm like, fuck, I have an entourage too. Nice. I got bodyguard and an entourage. So like, yeah, boom. So like, let me take over. It's like, yo, sir, we have our own resident DJ here. No, he's gonna take over us. Once when they start playing, guess what happened? All 3 floors back full on the pool deck. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He went on, and there were some girls who were turn around and spin their head like, what the hell is that?
Some fans.
Like,
some fans.
The fans, like, yeah, and then you guys were on the back, like, yeah, like, go. So I closed down that party, and
man,
there's a few more occasions. Even the Sky, we had a Christmas party. We did the.
Oh yeah, there was one of my prideful favorite nights. I think I would say, I don't know if it was my peak, but it was a few that come to mind. But one of my best nights as far as DJing was one of my last nights on the ship. One of my last contracts. There's a party, some kind of crew party up on one of the upper pool decks, and they had a contracted DJ brought in. He was playing the whole night. It was packed. Everybody was having a good time. And at the end of the night, as he was shutting down after his last song, I got on the mic and said, the after party continues in the crew bar. At the time, I had the key to the room. I had the key to the bar because I was with the crew manager guy. I was cool with him. And party's now serious, so I brought everybody down there. I ran to my cabin as fast as I could, grabbed all my CDs. I gave DJ the keys. He unlocked it. I think it was him. And him and Austin turned the equipment on. I came in there, started out right away, and people started coming in, slowly but surely coming in to flooding it, filling it up to about 3 a.m. Had it jamming. Of course, you go until security says cut it. So I did it until security says cut it. But that was like so much fun. And to this day, DJing's one of my...
a group, like a nocturnal sound group or something.
Nocturnal sound crew, yeah, man. That was your people you put me into. You made me like an honorary member, or unofficial member or something. And I used to put that on all the posters we would put around the ship for the nights that I would DJ.
We had a pajama party.
That was the joint. The pajama jammy jam.
Yeah, the pajama party, and then there was like, remember one of the engineers that wanted to do the same thing, but I think he stuck. Other than that, after the shift, I moved to Miami, and
real quick before we get into that, I wanted to show one more last thing into that you was the one who taught me how to make ice cream soup.
Yeah,
you remember showing me that with the beer and everything? I didn't know that was even a thing before then. I'm like, what the hell is weird?
Get the big 5-gallon ice cream and then put it on a steamer and melt it there.
Yeah. You put me onto that. To this day, I still don't remember the whole recipe because I want to duplicate that here at home and do some TikTok videos of that. But on the ship, though, I didn't know about that. You put me onto that, and while serving it up in the buffet, people were loving that shit. And I tape sampled it, and I realized how good it was.
Because not only I put like pecan ice cream, I put a whole bottle of rum.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tilted that shit upside down and let it flow.
A bottle of rum there. There was beer ice cream too, beer soup.
Yep.
What else I was doing?
Anything?
I remember when we were in the sky before we moved to another subject.
Right.
I remember you and I go straight back to my cabin because all of us were breakfast back then.
Yeah.
At the time, right?
Yep.
So, I changed. I come back. You coming down from like less than 30 minutes on your uniform. Like, wait, you shower? I'm like, man, your bed still smell like whoop.
Yep.
Like you're picking up bacon at 3:30 in the morning.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because Siobhan too was like, yeah. Oh, one last thing. Speaking of Siobhan, yeah.
The homie.
I remember that we partied at Tsunamis, bro.
Tsunamis was my spot in Maui. Damn. Yeah. That was one of my favorite clubs ever back then.
That place is still up, but they're not using it as a nightclub. They're using it as part of the like a hotel,
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. It's been a while. It's been many years.
Like banquets and stuff. But other than that, man.
Yeah, I was just talking to.
There.
Yeah, well, I was just did an episode with DJ a couple episodes back, and we mentioned it before how we used to rent cars and drive around the island and go to Tsunamis and party.
I picked you up. We were playing. We were playing one tune from Erykah Badu.
Back in the days when things were cool. That's my favorite Erykah Badu song to this date still. Every time I play that song, it reminds me of that night. I'm telling people that's listening, there's one night where me and you was driving out to Tsunamis. You had a nice whip you rented. I forgot it was a gray something. It's a Jeep or SUV, something real nice. And and for some reason, I don't know if it was picking somebody up or waiting, but we drove around the parking lot in front of the club, looped it like 5 or 6 times, just playing that song. I was waiting. I don't know why we did that, but in that moment it was fun. We was just feeling the vibe, and that was a cool club. Man. It was classy, but still had a little bit of ratchetness every now and then. And nobody really ever got into no real shit except for that one chef who claimed he got kidnapped. I don't know what that's about. But other than that, it was fun, man.
It was. I mean, we had a lot of things that we did, and
yeah, I feel like we lived like 10-year lifespan within those few years.
All those good memories are actually, that's I think personally when I say it, that on somewhat of my adult life, it was fun. I made good friends.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed life. Throughout my career, I thought I wasn't going to be where I am at the moment.
I feel you, man. Same here.
And, after the shift, well, actually, it didn't stop because after NCL, I worked for one hotel for less than 6 months, and then I went to Disney Cruise Line afterwards.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
how was that?
Yeah, so we did. There's also,
because I got a friend who's thinking about working for a Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah. And we have a private room now, and you can do whatever you want to do.
Nice.
So basically, it kind of he kind of moved to Disney Cruise Line and partied with Cinderella, Pocahontas, and and Snow White. And
I got a good friend right now who's thinking about working for Disney Cruise Line. I tell him all the time, cruise staff would be good for him because of his personality and the skills that he has. And like, what would you say? How was that experience compared to like Norwegian Cruise Line, being a chef on that one? That company.
Well, I learned a lot.
Okay.
Because on the cruise line, there's no shortcuts. We have to really make from scratch.
Right.
Like literally.
Exactly.
We have to make from sauces all the way to cooking and butchering. And I remember when part of my career I was in the soup line and briefly progressed to like butchering and then help out Patrick and then doing all other stuff.
Nice.
After my career in a cruise line, well, after Norwegian, I progressed to a position like from sous chef all the way to a chef de cuisine and second executive chef with a Carnival group.
Okay.
When I left, I had a setback a little bit because they think that cruise line is not really an actual chef work, but
wow.
I explained to them, yeah. So when I went back to
anybody who ever says that has never actually done it. I'm guarantee you, because that is some real chef shit for real. I learned more during that time on the ship.
They're very notorious on they judge you on one certain point that you are going to cruise line and everything is shortcut. It's not.
It's definitely not. I learned so much during that time. I learned more during that time than I entirely did in the following 7 or 8 years of my life after that. And I learned more during those 4 years I was running the ship, and during the few years I was in the military than I probably have in the other years in between. Because just based off of who I was working for, who I was working with, the different cuisines, different nationalities, different cultures I was working for, styles of cooking. And I learned everything short of one thing that I set out to do was I wanted to get into teppanyaki, but I never had a chance to do that then. So everything else I got a good taste of, and I got a new respect for like just learning how to be a butcher, fishmongering, prep, where food comes from, the science of cooking, and I learned all that through trial of fire. Just getting thrown in there, moving around to different restaurants on the ship is like I always tell everybody, some of the most fun I've had and some of the hardest work I've done too. And I wouldn't take back or regret a second of it.
Yeah, I mean, throughout my career, after the cruise line, that kind of opened up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did work some multi-billion dollar operations and, independent, more 6-star type hotels.
Nice.
I mean, there are a couple of names that I worked, like the Fontainebleau. I worked for the Faina Group. I catered for Madonna.
Wow.
Yeah, there's those years that we didn't actually really talk. I actually my career went up. Even when I went downhill on my personal relationship, on my personal life, went up to the point that I stopped, and then opened up. I joined one person that I know back in Miami, and I basically opened up food trucks and restaurants, and at some point in my life I was actually partly owner and got invited also to be partly or be not managing but more like partners in a percentage of financial type.
Now, was a lot of that in
Miami?
Miami, okay, yeah, because there was a time where we was out of communication for a while, and then we reconnected. There was I remember you had offered for me to come work with you at the Palms in Miami. That was around the time I was considering leaving Hawaii, and that was one of my options before, along with Colorado, when I was considering leaving Hawaii. He's like, well, I'm trying to build a team in Miami at the Palms, and Miami was high on my list because I was a fan of Miami in general. Plus, I knew there was a lot of work out there. It was a big opportunity to advance in the culinary field out there.
So, I my career towards that is like completely progressed. And back in 2018, middle of 2018 to 2020, March of 2020, before the pandemic, I was actually rolling really good.
Nice.
I met a couple of people who was way past on my. It's not even on my level anymore, and worked out and I got introduced to people who had like deep pockets. Let's just say that.
Right.
Who drives like Rolls Royce or a Bugatti or a Veyron or a Pagani or.
Yeah, people.
And I actually rode some of them. I actually rode like a Ferrari, Lambos, you name it. It was there.
Yeah, they're showing you the fruits of their success.
I had an opportunity to join, like I said, like entertainment group, not the new type.
Yeah.
Entertainment group, more like lounge nightclub type. So
nice, that's a good scene.
I knew a little bit about that operation, but my passion is more on the cooking side.
Yeah.
So after the pandemic, everyone started to open up again back in 2020 October, and everyone started to open back. Coming back from DC, went back to Miami. I kind of started my roots again. Yeah. And I worked somewhere on the Gable side, very pristine, fine dining type of Mediterranean church type food, and kind of honed my skills a little bit back on track. Then I had an opportunity to actually go to Boston and Massachusetts and work on a bigger catering company that caters mostly around neighboring states as well. So try to become a traveling executive chef, and at some certain point, 2021, beginning of 2021, moved back here in Hawaii, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? So I tried to look. Well, I didn't work for like 2 months because I really need some rest.
Yeah.
And
just moving around a lot.
And just basically I took time, and I got an opportunity to work for. Well, it wasn't really. I wasn't really expecting that to happen, but it happened. So I believe on the perfect timing. So I did have my agent. Yes, I do have an agent.
There you go. Get some representation.
So I had an agent to represent my my clean resume and all the details and all the backups that I need to.
Okay.
And I got interviewed, and all of a sudden I was with the Marriott group, and then I got thrown to a luxury type of brand. Here I'm doing work now. Basically, it was a good blessing. I mean,
absolutely,
it's actually a good place.
Drop a celebration air horn for that one.
Yeah.
Man, it's like
I don't know what's in front of me, what's ahead of me. I'm hoping I keep moving as I grow and older.
Man, much
I think I'm gonna go to the point now. I'm gonna be somewhere traveling more and doing more others of things.
Man, ain't nothing like traveling, man. Like much like success and blessings to you and what you've accomplished and what you set out to accomplish. Because if you keep on the same trajectory, you have nowhere else to go but up. And I see great things happening for you. When with each move that you made, as far as whether you moved to a different state or a different city or even a different area of the country, but was it based off of a connection you made from a relationship you had from somebody, or was it all from like you looking out for something else, or was it a little bit of both?
I guess I always have a dream that I'll go to a certain position and I keep continuing. And it does happen. It will take a while for me to get it, but it's not on the relationship part, because I did push myself to the point that, you know, I never even had time for myself. But on my career, likewise, it's just, you know, I pushed to the point that I want to excel more. And, you know, I'm not that perfect. I mean, I still learning.
Yep. We all are. You never stop learning. Yeah.
And
that's the only way. That's the only way we grow.
To integrate.
There you go.
So here am I, and doing good things, well, luxury type things.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, and probably somewhere in my career path, if I keep continuing on a good path on this line, I do see myself probably going to Southeast Asia and work for another property.
Sweet.
With a Marriott, and, you know, be someone there.
Nice.
Well.
Hey, man, I say keep expanding and keep growing you and your brand. And if this company is treating you well, it's only right to continue to do well by them. And you never know where you can go from there. You know, when my wife and I came to Hawaii last year to celebrate our 1-year wedding anniversary, and when I called you up, you just happened to say, "Oh, I just happened to be here today too." I'm like, "Word, perfect." We met up downtown with my boy Chris, and we were just kicking it and trying to catch up. It's kind of hard to hear each other talking in that loud spot, but I'm happy to see that you were still in the field doing your thing. You was traveling. I'm like, it was so dope just to see you out there, because like they're running to you out there. It wasn't planned or anything. I didn't even know you was there until I woke up that morning in the hotel room and I called you and you said you was there. You saw me on my Facebook, whatever. I'm like, wow, just link up with this dude that kind of back, not where we met, but in the same theme of where we met, like in Hawaii kind of. I'm like, yeah, this is dope. So I was excited to see that. I'm happy to see you still doing your thing, man. Anybody you want to give a shout out to right now, or anything that you got coming up that you want to promote, or any last announcements you want to make before we get up out of here for the evening?
Well, I probably just want to take myself. Second of all, my family who somewhat believe in me.
Hell yeah!
Even though I failed how many times.
Right. And
that special someone that I'm, partnering up with, and that person actually pushed me good. And even though sometimes I don't like getting dictated, but she was right.
Who does? You know what I'm saying? Nobody.
Yeah. And she was right. There's some points. So I also want to take to that special person. Starts with an L, but I won't say the name.
You don't have to. And I doubt they're listening. If they are, oh well. They know who they are. But if not, oh well.
I just want to say thanks to Lexi. You know.
That's what's up.
And then, thanks for Marriott believing in me too. You know.
Yeah, Marriott's a good company, man.
Yeah, man. So everything else in my career, including their, cruise line that we work.
Yep.
And I work for other cruise line companies. Thank you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, man, I hope to see you.
We're definitely going to link up again at some point.
One of my guys is actually in Colorado. I forgot what part it is. It's not Aspen, but it's another Ritz property.
Maybe Vail or Breckenridge or Telluride or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I hope to see you now that you're going to be dada.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I'll see you and Abigail and your little one.
Oh, yeah.
Sometime soon.
Yep, she's expected 19th, around the 19th of next month. So, right around the corner, man. She's almost here. We're excited. We're stoked.
Yeah, man. I'm happy with you. So,
thank you.
But this one, I'm gonna show up because I apologize for that time.
Oh, it's all gravy. Ain't nobody tripping.
You know.
Shit, man. Well, man, this
Man.
been an excellent conversation, man. It's great. Always fun catching up with you, even through our phone calls we've had. I've learned some more stuff about you that I didn't know before, just now in this show, and I hope everybody has gotten a chance to know Mr. RC through this episode. Anybody that's known him back when I knew him, or even before I knew him, or even after I knew him, got a deeper insight to his life, his mentality, his style, what he's all about, and what he's done. This man right here, like, his life and his career could be a movie. It should be a damn miniseries because it's so packed with even much more than we've been able to get into in this episode, I'm sure. And just based off of what I know about him, including this, is a lot. It's an interesting story, entertaining, has its peaks and valleys like everybody else's does, but he is one of them, just so y'all know. Mr. RC Cabalquinto, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Infinite Ambition Podcast. Recognize your limitless worth, damn it. Episode 27, available on all streaming platforms. I want to thank one of my distributors, Buzzsprout. I want to thank DistroKid for my music, helping get it all out there. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Download, share this shit. And remember to stay motivated, stay positive. We out of here. Peace!
Chorus Mind Production.
Infinite ambition.